Hi everyone, Kaary here. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are all doing great today. So today I'm back with another speed build for you guys. Today we're actually building in the world of Mount Komorebi, which is the world that we got with the Snowy Escape expansion pack. And today we are building a pottery studio, like a house with a pottery studio outside. I built this, I don't know how long ago, but at least a month ago. And I loved it. I actually took the inspiration from a picture that I saw on Pinterest that I'm gonna try to find and put here on the screen for you guys to see it. And this ends up being a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom house. And I had so much fun decorating this house. I really like building like Japanese inspired houses. I think they're so beautiful. I think the architecture is just amazing. But this is by no means accurate when it comes to like Japanese traditions and stuff like that. I just decided to build something nice, and I wanted to have like a small business as well, because when I built this, the business and hobbies expansion pack was like in a hype yet, and I really wanted to build something more Japanese inspired, more Asian, and what better than a pottery studio in a house like this. So that's what I did. And of course, we have to address some things. For example, we have to address the gameplay trailer from that we got today for the Enchanted by Nature expansion pack. I'm so excited. I have to say it. I need to admit this. I'm so excited about the new expansion pack. I really hope that what we've seen in the trailer, I mean, if you saw the trailer, if you haven't seen it, please go and check it out, because the gameplay is going to be so fun. And I'm really excited to see more. I love that they actually took a lot of details when it came to work with the fairies and everything that you can do with them. And yeah, you see the attention to detail with everything that you can do and how fairies are supposed to be played with and stuff. I mean, I love the skill tree that we got as well. I'm so happy that we got it. I really hope that the Sims team someday goes and updates the mermaids so they can have a skill tree as well. That would be amazing for mermaids and for those of us who really love to play with mermaids. So yeah, I'm so excited to see what else we get, and I can't wait to play with the new expansion pack. I really can't wait. I'm gonna be playing so much with fairies and stuff. Yeah, really excited about it. But yeah, let's talk a little bit more about this build. You see that the exterior of this build is quite simple when it comes to color schemes. I only use one wallpaper, and that's something that I don't usually do. I really like to play with textures when it comes to the exterior of my builds as well as the interior, but in this case I decided to keep it as simple as possible, because the Snowy Escape windows and the roofs and everything have a lot of different textures, and they just bring all the different details that I was trying to show in this build without me having to use multiple wallpapers in the exterior. So yeah, that's something that I don't usually do, as I said, but in this case I think it just works so perfectly. And I had the terrain paint glitch in this build. I was so mad because you didn't see it because I cut it out of the speed build, but you see now that everything disappeared. There's only a little bit of terrain paint in there, and I was so frustrated because it took me so long to have it to do what I had already done, and when I lost it, I didn't know how to do it again because I didn't remember what I had done. So yeah, this is going to be the final version of the terrain paint, I'm pretty sure, here in the exterior. It doesn't look as beautiful as the first one. I didn't do that much anyways, but yeah, I had the terrain paint glitch, and it sucks. I really dislike that glitch. It bothers me so much. And here in the front of this build, I decided to add a tiny pond. I thought it would be like a nice way for your Sims to relax and maybe enjoy the day outside and just have a good time. The inspo pic in this part originally had like this massive cherry tree or something, like a really bright colorful tree. I really wanted to add it in here because the screenshots would have been so beautiful if I had that. But then I thought, yeah, in that specific angle it would have looked amazing, like a screenshot would have been amazing, but in the rest of the build it would have looked quite weird because we're actually building like in the downtown of Mount Komorebi. So this is kind of the city area, something like that. We don't have those like too many trees, and we don't have those red trees anyways, so it would have looked weird. And also the gallery picture, we have to be really careful with what we end up with when it comes to the gallery picture for a build. So I didn't want to mess anything up, so that's why I didn't add that tree. But I don't know, I think it still ends up looking really cool. And maybe if you want to add the tree, if you decide to play with this build, and if you have already downloaded it, because it has been up on the gallery for a while now. I finished it, I play tested it, and then I decided to upload it to the gallery, and that's something that I have been doing. So maybe you are one of those people that download my builds from the gallery, so you have already seen this build, you have seen the interior, you have seen the parts that maybe I wouldn't show in a speed build, like the hallways and the multiple bathrooms and stuff. And maybe you saw details that I did off camera. I don't exactly remember if I did anything off camera, like final details and stuff in this build. I don't remember, but maybe you're one of those people and now you see me like going through the working process of creating this. And maybe you are not, you haven't realized that I upload this to the gallery and you are seeing it right now. So if you haven't downloaded this build and you want to play with it, you can download it from the gallery. I have a link down in the description with the direct link to download this build from the Sims 4 gallery. So if you want to go and download it right away, you can easily do so. Or if you want to go and check it out in my gallery, my origin ID is KaarySims, and I said origin ID, oh my god, my EA ID is KaarySims. So yeah, you can go and check it out there if you want as well, but you have to scroll a little bit down because as I said, I uploaded this multiple weeks ago. I don't exactly remember when, but now we're working on the interior, and I started with the kitchen because I always start with the kitchen. And I love when I have a lot of space for me to work with kitchens and create like these really big spaces. In this case, I had this space that I felt was really big originally, and then I started furnishing and I was like, okay, but what do I do with all this space? Because it was a big kitchen. And so I ended up adding this table here with some chairs. Then I'm gonna be getting rid of the table and the chairs because I wanted them to have a proper dining space. And if I kept this one, there would have been 3 different dining spaces in this house, and that's just absurd. Because I have an area, like a specific room for with a kotatsu table, that it's the one that is right next to this one. So you see me adding it right here. So yeah, this is the area with the kotatsu table, and then in the main area I add a dining table as well, because the space was just massive. And I decided to get rid of the dining space that I created in the kitchen and replace it with this accent table that we got with the kitchen clutter kit. Because by this time, I think we hadn't gotten or maybe we had already had it. I don't know. The kitchen clutter kit. I have no idea if we had it when I started building this or if we got it in the process of me building this. I know that I did use some items from that kit. So maybe we already had it. I have no idea. I don't remember. But anyways, we're decorating this kind of dining space as well. And traditionally, I think the kotatsu tables are supposed to be used during the winter because they have this heated area, and the people that use these kind of tables actually get warm when they're sitting in these tables. So I decided to create like a special space for it instead of having it as the everyday sitting dining space. So yeah, we're working on in the living room right now, and then we're gonna be creating like this proper dining space that I said that I added in this build in case your Sims, I mean, it's not winter and your Sims don't need to use the kotatsu table. But I tried to use a lot of different inspo pics because when it comes to builds like this one that I really don't want to mess up when it comes with traditions and with something as specific as a Japanese style, when it comes to this type of builds, I really want to be respectful of what I do with the people that actually live in this culture and that they know about this. Of course, I cannot be 100% accurate every time that I build something, so that's why I always say it's inspired by Japanese architecture and stuff. In this case, I used a lot of different inspiration pictures to try and decorate all these areas, and I ended up really liking what I did. Now, the living room, I'm sorry, ends up being really simple, and I love it. I love when a build looks minimalistic, like is minimalistic but looks like over cluttered and stuff. And I think that's something you can do with Japanese architecture and interior design. You can do things like those, so that's what I'm doing right now. We're creating this type of custom shelves using beams and shelves and a lot of different stuff. They end up being quite glitchy at first, but then they end up looking really cool. I actually really like these shelves, and we're creating like different type of decorations and stuff. So yeah, I actually had so much fun decorating all of these shelves because I'm gonna be making 3, and they look so cute. I really like them, and having a lot of really Japanese inspired decorations and stuff. I used a lot of snow escape in this build, of course, and I just loved it. I had so much fun decorating this house. I think it feels cozy, I think it feels warm, I think it feels inviting. Like, your Sims would definitely have such a good time spending time here watching TV in the living room. You can take really nice screenshots, I think. And that's something that I try to pay a lot of attention to every time that I build a house, that if you want to take screenshots of your Sims doing stuff, you can do that. And everything's gonna look nice and polished and beautiful. That's something that I do try to do. So hopefully this house like works for those type of things. So if you want to come here and take screenshots inside the house, you can definitely do so. And maybe the screenshots are really cool and stuff. I would really love to see people playing with my builds, that they tag me on Instagram, and I can see what they do or how they play with these builds, because I think it's so cool. Every time that I build something, I build it with a specific idea in my mind. Sometimes I have a specific family in mind, but maybe you customize the houses and you do something different and you adapt my builds to your own gameplay. And that's something that I would really like to see, how you guys play with my builds, because it's cool to see that so many people think that I built something nice and they want to download it and play with it. So yeah, it would be really cool to see that. So if you want to tag me on Instagram or send me DMs on Instagram showing me what you do with my builds, that would be cool as well. But yeah, now we're decorating the main bedroom. This is 1 out of 4 bedrooms in this house, and I had to do some changes. As you can see, I'm changing the flooring. I also changed the wallpaper, and I'm gonna be doing that in every single room because all the inspo pics that I saw had this flooring that I completely forgot the name of. And every time that I build Japanese inspired houses, I use this flooring in the dining space, but I don't usually use it in the bedrooms. And now I realized I should be using it more in bedrooms because all the inspo pics that I found had this type of flooring in the bedroom. So yeah, well, that's something that I'm gonna be doing now. But you see me now going back to the kitchen and adding the card that I mentioned from the kitchen clutter kit. Now I realized I already had the kitchen clutter kit when I built this house, because I added the what's the name, the dish rack and stuff from that kit. So yeah, I already had it. This is another bedroom. Maybe, which one is the main bedroom? Now that I think about it, I think I don't remember. I think it's this one. I think this one is the main bedroom and the other one was a guest room or something like that, because I know that I do something very special in this bedroom. Besides the shutters, as you can see in the window, that's something that I saw in an inspo pic as well. And in this one, I added a seating area. and it ends up looking so cool. I wish it were functional, because it is not functional, it's just decorational. And your Sims can still walk through the bedroom and get to both sides of the bed and everything like that, because I did playtest this build. And this part in particular, like this room in specific, was the one that I was the most nervous about, because I'm using this big massive table from Seasons, and I'm adding all these pieces of clutter, and then I'm sizing it down and getting rid of all these different things, and then I'm adding some cushions on the floor, and I really thought this wasn't going to be functional. And if it didn't work, I would have been so mad because it ends up looking so nice. I really like how everything looks in here. And I'm adding this table from a Dream Home Decorator to create like a sort of a tray, and adding this teapot here. So this is for the parents in this house to come here and enjoy a cup of tea or something like that. And I just feel that it looks amazing. I mean, when, of course, I built it and I really like it, because otherwise I wouldn't have kept it in the video or in the build. But I just feel like I wish I had something like that in real life. I wish I could get into my room and have this kind of tea area. I don't know what's the name of it. I'm really sorry if you are Asian, or if you are Japanese, or if you even know what I just did in that bedroom. I'm really sorry, because I don't. So I would love to know what that kind of situation area in that bedroom is called, because I really don't know. But yeah, I wish I had something like that in my room. I love tea, so I really wish I had something like that. Now we're decorating one of the kids' rooms. This one is, I think it's the smallest room. I'm pretty sure it's the smallest room, and I think it still looks really cool. I thought it was for a kid that is into sports, and of course I wanted to try and make it feel kid-like, but still keeping all the Asian style in this room anyways. And the bed from Snowy Escape is just perfect. I really like it, and I'm so happy that I got to use a swatch of this bed that I don't usually use. I don't think I've ever used that swatch before, actually. So I was really happy when I got the chance to do so. And I'm gonna be adding some toys in here. This desk from, I think the desk is from the Businesses and Hobbies expansion pack, I'm pretty sure. I think the wood texture is just so beautiful. I really like it. And yeah, adding this cushion here on the chair doesn't block your Sims from using the chair, so don't worry if you are wondering. Your Sims can still use a chair, and it's not an issue whatsoever. So I thought that this kid was working in different projects, and they have interest in sports, as I said. So they have these posters here that I'm gonna be putting inside these painting from Businesses and Hobbies. No, this one is from the Kitchen Clutter Kit. I really like that painting, but I had to cover it with some posters because it was for a kid, and they're into sports, and I don't know, I just didn't want to have posters. I wanted to have paintings and wall decoration and stuff like that, so that's what I did. And this is the other bedroom. This is for a teenager, and here I struggled so much because the inspo pick that I had this massive header here with some cherry trees and a lot of different plants and stuff, like something similar to that painting that I used on top of the bed, but bigger. And it was so beautiful. I really wanted to recreate it, and I just couldn't do it. I struggled so much. It took me so long to try and find the perfect picture, the perfect item, and I just couldn't do it. So I ended up using that painting again. I know that I already used that same swatch in other parts of this house, but when I built this, I didn't remember that, and I used it anyways, and I think it still looks nice, so I kept it. And I mean, if you like a painting enough, you can have it twice in your house, right? It's not that terrible. I don't know. That's something that I usually do in my builds. Every time I try not to repeat any plants or paintings and stuff, but in this case, it was just one painting. It wasn't that terrible. But yeah, now we're working in the office that I created here. And I decided to turn this bedroom into an office because this is the bed, like the room that goes to the balcony. And in the balcony, there's going to be like a lot of planters and area for your Sims to plant stuff. So I thought that maybe one of the Sims living in here was into gardening, and maybe they had like a small business as well somewhere else, and they planted stuff and they sold maybe I don't know, plants, or maybe they sold fruits and vegetables and stuff. Maybe they did some flower arranging, things like that. So that's why I decided to turn this into an office instead of having another bedroom. And yeah, I also thought that maybe the teenager or the kid were into music, so they have a keyboard there. But this is pretty much what I mentioned. There's going to be some plants in here, and I play tested this part as well, so your Sims can actually plant in every single planter. And yeah, I think you will see it on the screenshots. I don't exactly remember if I kept it in the screenshots, but now we're decorating the pottery area because I completely forgot about it. And it's quite simple. I didn't do that much in here. So you can take classes as well, and you can come here into some pottery. And I had so much fun doing this when I was playtesting this. It was really fun. But yeah, we're actually heading to the end of the video now, so I really hope you guys liked it. And if you did, please remember to like this video, also comment and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And also follow me on social media. Links are all in the description down below, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Enjoy the screenshots. Goodbye.